So let's start with the light board. Here you have two environments, one running on vSphere, right? The other one run on containers, either running on on-prem or running on AWS or Azure. On the left, you have vSphere 7 with Tanzu, where I have legacy workload, container, virtual machine, or bare metal, right? Then on the top, we have NSX-T with all the features which is mentioned, all the benefits with container networking you can take full benefit of. So we walk you through that, and then we can see how it integrates with Tanzu Service Mesh, right? Let's get started. So on the left side, you have all the containers running on vSphere 7, and connect together, you can build the NCP, which is the native container plugin, networking NSX container plugins. So the NCP can run in here. It tie into different segments. So you have two segments here, connect to the tier 1, and the virtual machine connect to another tier 1, which is another segment. And also the bare metal can be the same segment. And together they connect to the tier 0, which is the upstream router, which is gonna go to the north-south traffic. And both gonna connect to the underlay routers. And here you can do eBGP or static route directly to the north-south. That's how traffic land into this cluster. So we see how container plugin from NSX can take the full benefit of that, either running on vSphere or running on a different type of workload in different type of clouds. On the right side here, I have a similar thing here. We create two clusters, one running on-prem, either run vSphere, OpenShift, or Ranchers. Doesn't matter at this point. And we have one master and a couple worker nodes. So it just represents here two worker nodes. And here we can have some front-end application running. And then you have some back-end, which is the back office. And the database can run either one of the cluster, thing like get running on different cluster or running in the same place as well. So assume you have the database running on AWS or Azure. So you have DB running here on containerized. Now how you connect all together in this side, we have Tanzu Service Mesh. We see the service mesh that offered by VMware that tie on together. They have two parts, which is the control plane is the service mesh from Tanzu team, and then the data path running as Android. And together they connect, here they call it LC1, which is local controller. This is LC2. And that is the namespace we inject into every single cluster you have. And then that tied together with the Tanzu Service Mesh. In this case, going to here. Why we need Tanzu Service Mesh? It's allowed to do a lot of things on layer 7. Mostly is a single panel class for a container workload. And it can do the encryption across multiple environment, right? And then we run the GNS with the global namespace, allow you to group, in this case, two clusters in two different environments, and then allow you to do traffic routings, apply the policies, detect all the identities, and manage all of that. Do the ingress, egress. And you can tie with the load balancer. Here you can bring the AKO with the IV load balancer or NSX Advanced load balancer. So in here you have the load balancer running in here as well. So we tie on together, and we have the API gateway or API services running with the Mesh 7 now built in inside and Tanzu Service Mesh. Allow you to do all the API inspections, either running different type of workload. So together, it allows you to group the whole construct, allow you single panel class for multiple environment. This is one part, right? And together, the Tanzu Service Mesh can go and connect with NSX and fit in all the machine learning capabilities. What do we offer for container networking? Before I go there, let's look at this side. You can have Antrea running on every single node in here, or any type of CNI plugin, right? And it could be Antrea, could be any CNI running in here. And together you connect to that. Yeah. Or you can tie with NSX, which is a different story here. So from that, you can have a single panel class for either running on-prem or in the cloud together. And then they all talk in the same environment. So three major things we want to walk you through that. First, how you apply the single pane of glass for network policy across virtual machine, container, bare metal, running on-prem, running on the cloud, or running on different type of environment. So you create a policy in NSX here that allow you to create the policies. Let's say I create the policy in this side from NSX. In this case, NSX-T. So the network policy allow web to talk with app, app to talk DB, or front end can talk with back end can talk with database in this case. So you write out the policies and you use NSX, either use automation or via the GUI, you can go and push the policy directly into different type of environment. So you push the policies via the API, and then gonna push to different type of workload. Could be run here, could be running in here, could be running in containers. So you apply the single policy. Eventually you can tie policy to this front end, or you can tie with the back end or database. So that allow you to do end-to-end securities from single pane of glass with NSX-T first, right? And across multiple workload, either run on-prem or on the cloud. It completely is scalable. Underneath that, we have the full visibility. This is the overlay networking, and this is the underlay networking. You don't touch anything on the underlay networking. Let's say you're running Cisco, Juniper, Antrea, or working routers. You keep intact in the green boxes, and we just touch the yellow. So where we peering NSX running this game. So I think, yeah, I should. I'm gonna cut that part. Okay, let's take it back from here. Okay, so yeah. So this is the recap, right? So NSX, let me recap 3 different things, right? First, single second, clouds, and so is this single pane of glass? It's easy of use. It's going to cost multiple clouds, either on-prem cloud or public clouds. This is the key takeaway. I want you look at that from the flashboard.